everyone? Welcome to another exciting sports video. As always, I'm your guy, Jonathan Mathis. Hope everyone's having a good morning. Happy Saturday to you all. I am known as the sports judge, of course, so welcome in, and before I get a little critical of the Lakers, as I've usually been so far this season, I want to remind everyone to give this video a thumbs up and share it, and share this content with people you know. Now, the Lakers are who they are. They are a pretender, not a contender. Understand that. The Lakers are not a threat to anyone. They can't even figure out ways to win. They have not established a winning formula this season at all. And I'm just speaking facts, ladies and gentlemen. They have not cooked up a championship winning recipe. They don't even know who they are. They have not developed chemistry and have not figured out exactly how these roster pieces, of theirs fit. They just haven't figured things out. Now, again, they lost another game. The Lakers dropped to 12-12 after Friday's disappointing 119-115 defeat to the rival Clippers. This team doesn't have the continuity that other teams in the West have. It's just not there. Something's not clicking for this Laker team. And the Lakers clearly got outplayed, out-hustled, and out-coached. It was a terrible night for them. They didn't shoot the ball efficiently. They missed a lot of shots. They took a lot of ill-advised shots, as they usually do. And this Laker team is utterly frustrating to sit and watch, because they continue to find ways to lose games. And it's really, really hard to root for a Laker team like this one. When you have more than enough star power to actually win games, you're not able to win on a consistent level. You're losing more games than you are winning. And that's a profound concern if you're a Laker fan. I mean, this is very, very concerning, and it's troubling. And it's not getting any better. It seems like it's getting worse as time goes. And the schedule is not going to get any easier for the Lakers. It's just going to get harder if they continue to dig themselves in a hole like they have. Now, defensively, I thought the Lakers did a decent job of forcing the Clippers into tough shots. But the Lakers struggled to find many good looks against the Clippers zone. And, the Clippers did a terrific job keeping the Lakers at bay. I mean, you saw that last night, too. The Clippers were able to draw fouls. They were able to get to the free throw line. For the Lakers, they didn't hold up defensively. Their defense has been terrible too. They haven't committed to playing defense on a consistent level. And that's not going to win you many ball games if you don't figure out ways to get it done defensively. I thought LeBron James looked lethargic. He didn't have his best performance. He shot the ball inefficient, but I believe he finished with 23 points. Anthony Davis, he stuffed up the stat sheet. But the numbers really didn't matter that much because he wasn't as dominant as he can be, and we really haven't seen him insert, his dominance. And that's something that the Lakers need. They need him to be, a prolific scorer. But the people that carried the Lakers last night, I thought Carmelo Anthony got off to a quick start. Of course, you had THT. He was tremendous. But then he also had his moments where he missed a lot of shots as well. You know, and it just goes back to saying that this Laker team isn't taking the best shots. And when they have good looks, because it was almost as if the Clippers were daring them to shoot, and every time that the Clippers dared the Lakers to shoot, they would miss the open shots. They had some good looks and they would miss the open shots. And then on the other end of the floor, defensively, they couldn't generate any stops because they wasn't defending. You know, they wasn't making it difficult for the Clippers. So the Clippers had all these easy looks and they were knocking down their shots while the Lakers were missing theirs. You know, so it really doesn't help. But this is concerning for the Lakers. And if the Lakers don't turn it around by January, I wouldn't be surprised if Frank Vogel is fired. Because with all of this that's going on, I think it's time for a new voice in that locker room. There is so much uncertainty around this Laker team right now. I mean, again, they have not established an identity. They don't know who they are. And they're in a world of trouble. This Laker team is in a world of trouble right now. And again, it's just not looking good for the Los Angeles Lakers. And if you're disappointed, I get it. You should be disappointed in this Laker team. Because this Laker team has yet to figure it out. You know, either LeBron is passive or he's either overly aggressive. You know, and Anthony Davis went to the line. He missed some free throws. You know, I mean, to be fair, too, there was a lack of aggregate floor spacing around him. And I guess that hindered his ability to succeed in that regard as well. But this Laker team is going to have to find ways to win basketball games. You know, they let this game get away from them. Because this was a game of runs when you really think about it. The Clippers would go on their runs, then the Lakers would respond. But every time the Lakers had an answer, the Clippers would respond. And the Clippers were able to maintain advantage. If I remember correctly, the Lakers never led in this game. They had to play catch up the entire night. You know, and the Clippers, they started to build a solid lead, especially near the end of halftime. You know, but then that's when the Lakers, of course, went on that 10-2 run to make it a 53-50, to make it 53-50 after 24 minutes. You know, but things are going to have to get better for this Laker team. And I just don't see it happening. You know, I think you put too much talent on one team. Not only did you put too much talent, you got two ball-dominant players on the team. You got LeBron James, who's a very unselfish player and likes to have the ball in his hand because he can be a distributor. And he can make those around him better. And then you have Russell Westbrook, who's an unselfish player, if you just look at his stats, because he does average a lot of triple doubles, but at the same time, he hasn't really helped his team collect wins. You know, he hasn't really done enough to put his team in a position to win ball games. And then the Lakers' MO was defense. I don't know what happened because Frank Vogel is a defensive specialist, but I don't know why the Lakers are falling asleep defensively. I don't understand that one. You would think that the Lakers would have gotten better defensively. I guess all of that would change once Trevor Ariza is inserted back into the lineup. And then again, I might be wrong. Because this team doesn't look committed to playing defense. They let leads slip away. They get too complacent. They become too lackadaisical. And I just have my questions about this team. I don't think this team is a championship team. And people are still saying that it's too early to call. But as of today, it doesn't look good. And if the playoffs were to start today, guess what? The Lakers are one and done at best. They will lose in the first round playing like this. Because this is not championship basketball. They're not making quality shots. They're not attempting, good shots. And when they do get open looks, they miss them. They're not aggressive enough on the defensive end of the floor. They don't capitalize on other teams' mistakes. And those are things you have to take advantage of when they're in front of you. Those opportunities present themselves, and the Lakers, don't feast on those type of turnovers or mistakes made by the other teams. So I just don't know about this Laker team. On paper, they look good. Okay, they have all the stars. But you got to remember too, they have players who are 30 and older. So when you meet a team that has a lot of youth in the playoffs, there you go. That could present a lot of problems for your team. Because those guys have fresher legs. Those guys are a lot younger. No, they don't have as much experience as you do. But they could make it a tough series. They could make it a long series. And by the time the second round comes, if your team does advance, that team is going to be gassed. They're going to be very exhausted because they're older. And they can't hang with the younger kids, as they did back in the day when they were younger. Like when LeBron was in his prime. You're putting the ball in the hands of a soon to be 37-year-old forward. And you're asking him to carry this team. But yet, LeBron's health is not even up to par. LeBron is not, he may be physically in shape to still play the game at such a high level. But can he sustain good health? And can he stay on the court? I think that's a big question moving forward. We will soon find out more about the Lakers in the coming weeks and the coming days. Especially as they face stiffer competition coming up soon. See you guys later. You guys take care. Give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. I am truly grateful for that. I got a new show in the works, by the way, with my good friend and co-host, Jake Book. I will talk more about that as time goes. But till next time, you guys take care of yourselves. And you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Peace.